Hi everybody, this is CVGS, I'm the captain here, and welcome to the tournament fight that you see over here that happened on the 5th of November 2022 over at Toxic Game Shop, which is located here in SG. And this is one of the last rounds for the Swiss format, and it's actually, well, do not call myself out, so this is actually a match between Rin and myself. So you can see me actually playing on the right against Rin on the left over there, and yeah, both of us are just kind of playing in this tournament over at Toxic. So this is a matchup between Youthberk and Hexaorb. So as we go ahead and proceed with the shuffles from there, draw two from here, and yeah, so we are trying out a new style which is recommended in the comments, saying that you know, can we have some commentary in here? I'm doing this by myself. I actually haven't had much experience actually doing commentary on my own, so this is actually my first go at it. Even though it's my deck as well, even though I played in this, I actually do not remember this day very well. And it's kind of good as well, because I would be able to give you my live commentary with it as well. So yeah. Well, seems like I'll be going first in this round also. So as we go, stand up Vanguard. So yeah, let's get into this matchup from here. Alright, so then we have the discard from there, and yeah, and right up into tier square sorceress and put in nucleate angel at the back over there. So kind of smart on my end also for nucleate dragon, for nucleate angel to be back there, because when you ride up to the grade 3, even though you don't do any rewriting like what Youthberk might do as he goes up into the grade 1 youth. Alright, and then gets to draw one from the first Vanguard and attack. So you know, just making sure that I will put it down. If I need the counter charge, I can also, and I'll be using one counter blast 2 as well for tier square, so which will happen once I get into Pentaclim Sorceress. So tier square sorceress, counter blast 1, get to draw 1. So a perfect opportunity to actually get that counter charge back. So for Hexaorb, especially knowing that Hexaorb requires a lot of usage. Quad cast Sorceress from there. Look at the top 2 cards. Then put him back on top in any order, and then Soul Charge 1 also, which is a very good, very cheap card to use also. But heal trigger unfortunately coming into play, so in nucleate is actually not going to be able to have anything to counter charge in that sense. But one trigger on youth side, protecting it from quad cast Sorceress being able to attack. So then we pass the turn over to Rin. Rin discards Zest and then writes into the grade 1. So right to the grade 2 youth, sorry. Then looking at the top 3, then looking for a grade 2 or less card to put into hand, or a grade 2 or more, or grade 2 or more to call. But she found Sequia, critical trigger, 2 damage to the side, first check front, second check Octoray. So then stand and draw on my side. Okay. Alright, so then I go into this card, and now I write into Hexaorb Sorceress. Alright, so then Pentaclim Sorceress skill, look at the top 3 cards, and I get to see. I get to actually put from there. I should stop using I should just refer to myself in third person in this sense. So it actually sets the top 3 cards over there and attacks with Hexaorb Sorceress. So knowing what's inside there, there's no shenanigans. Seems like it might be a top deck full of dead. Full triggers also, so to speak. But let's see. Drive check, critical trigger, so critical effect, then Hexaorb skill plus 10k, so double critical. Double critical on cap side. 3 damage straight away, but heal trigger, so able to heal 1 from that sense. Then front trigger from there. So alright. Then because of the extra power up, so that's actually plus 40k, so that's a 50k quad cast sorceress attacking the Vanguard currently right now. Very big numbers for Hexaorb, especially when you can get those double criticals, or maybe even triple criticals if you actually get that plus 1 drive on that sense. So straight away to 4 damage, Cap is looking to end things as early as possible, especially knowing that we are now going into Youthberk, and with Youthberk and Tempest and Zest and Gust too as well, with Sequina at the back as well, so that it becomes deadly as well. And as Rin rides up to the DSR Youthberk also. But then she does discard Wayward Therapy Angel, so Wayward Therapy's Angel skill allows it to be able to be called to Regard Circle. It cannot be moved if I remember correctly. Oh, it cannot be normal call also from there. So she finds Tempest using Youthberk skill, and then Maple skill will be able to proc off 2 as well. So Maple was actually in the drop zone, so Maple actually can be called out when a grade 3 is ridden upon. Snizer coming down, counter blast 1, look at the top 5. And I believe you're looking for a grade 2 or more and adding it to your hand, if memory serves us. So again, I apologize for not being able to memorize card skills quite easily. So I will try to be better going forward into this. So just try to make sure that I do my results as well. do my research, so to speak. So yeah, I do have the deck list, so I can actually just take a look and memorize them at all. So yeah, right now just buying time for the players to actually just do their cards and their stitches and all that. So Wayward Therapy Angel was discarded earlier again, so now we have a full field here. Snizel and Maple having a booster with Wayward Therapy Angel. But Youthberk attacks right now with Sakuya, no guard, critical trigger. So critical to Vanguard, power to Maple. Second check, no trigger. Octorayve Sorceress and the Blitz PG going out from Cap side. Alright, but then now we get Revoldresses coming down, so into Tempest. And then Sakuya skill moving into Soul, then it increases or decreases the drive of the Youthberk to 1. Then Youthberk skill, open the top 2. Unfortunately, it's 2 criticals, so nothing to be able to send to the bottom of the deck on Cap side because they are all grade 0s. But that's okay. Snizel is going to attack, and Snizel is going to give plus 5k to Tempest. Alright, so then there's the guard and intercept there. 20k guard will block it off. Tempest will attack. It has plus 1 drive now. It's also got plus 5k. So this one is actually 18k with 1 drive or so. So 15k won't be able to save Cap from here also, because it will pierce through with 1. But Cap is putting 1. Check, no trigger, so Cap is safe. Alright, Maple goes in. Maple does have the trigger from the drive check. No guard on Cap side, it's a front trigger. A little late on that defensive trigger from there, but hey, you know, it is what it is also. But it's now we got 5 counter blasters, so this one is a 4 to 5 game, so it's starting to wrap up a little bit. Persona Ride on Cap side with Hexaorb Sorceress get the draw 1. And let's see whether if we can manipulate the future. Diaglass Sorceress. Counter blast 1, discard 1 to get top 2 cards, and then call as many of them to the Regard Circle and send the rest on top in any order. So yeah, there is a Persona Ride, just double checking on there, there is. So yeah, Cap's hand doesn't seem healthy, but that's the reason why he was, you know, kind of wiping the brow off his head when he checks 2 criticals in the early game to put her to 4. But yeah, we can see another Eyeglass going down, and we can also see Owen coming down. Owen skill in space on the Regard Circle, so plus 1, top 2. Choose as many to put on the top, and then the rest gets sent to the bottom in any order. So it sets 1 card to the bottom and 1 card to the top. So that could be an indicator of stuff. Calling another Omen from hand, skipping up the skill, but going with Hexaorb skills. Counter Blast 1. Oh no, he's going for Omen skill, so another Soul Blast from there, and sets another card to the bottom and another card on top. So I leave you to figure out what he said, whether if the card that he checked earlier was still on top or not. So yeah. But Hexaorb skill, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, and he reveals a front trigger and sends that front trigger to the top. So a lot of shenanigans come into play. So Persona Ride comes into play as well. So this one is 31k with a Nucleate also boosting there. Nucleate has been there since at the start of the game. The strategy there was to get a counter charge whenever you Persona Ride, which you want to do with Hexaorb. So that's the convenience there. Yeah, PG on Rin side. So getting rid of Painkiller Angel. So knowing that there's a whole bunch of triggers, which includes that front that he put on top. So front trigger. And then he gives the additional power from Hexaorb there, and Counter Blast 1 for the other Owen to actually give it plus 10k. Heal trigger, so he gets to heal 1 card from his damage, so he's now comfortably at 4. And then power to the side, and then Hexaorb skill to power to the other side, and the last card is Nucleate Angel, so yeah. So no damage go through because of the PG, but both sides are actually currently power 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's like 40k, so 40k plus 8, this is 58 on both sides. Oh no, 58, I think it should be 68 or so, because we forgot about the Persona Ride from there, so these are actually very, very big numbers. And chances are I may have actually forgotten that side too as well at that point in time, so, but it's okay, she takes 1 damage from there, and so this one is big ass number. Let's see if she purpose got this as well. Would she? It's a big number, but guards 40k, Maple 35, Snizel 40, so 40 brings up to 53 or so. Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Okay, so then Persona Ride coming down for Rin side, so draw 1, and then Maple skill will come out because a great chance to be rid upon. Alright, another Sakuya coming down. Sakuya being a very valuable card as a for the Youthberk deck as well. Alright, Sniger coming down, color blast 1, looking at the top 5, can she fetch up another card from the deck? So deck thinning is deck winning, as they always say. Alright, finding Gust to put into hand. So this is going to be a very deadly turn. So Cat did check quite a few defensive triggers. Not defensive triggers, he did check quite a few triggers there. So you know, he might have some defenses in his hand, so you know, be able to block this off. So as long as he can keep the field, maybe he can see it next turn. But here we go, we see Youthberk coming down. Okay, so the front trigger plus 5k shield from there. This is 25, 2 triggers. First check, front trigger. Second check, over trigger. Over trigger coming out for Rinsider, so and Cap just can't have it anymore. So 100 million and 100 million to the to Maple on that side as well. So the attack will go through. Damage check, this is only 1 damage, I believe. First check, no trigger. So even Cap really needs this 100 million from his own over trigger right now. His hasn't shown up yet. So he needs it on his side in order to be able to you know, help him from there. But she rides, but Rin actually rides into Zest, so which is actually quite smart in that sense. So Sakria increasing the drive up to 1 for Zest. So yeah, Snizel going off, then plus 5k to Zest 2 as well. There is Persona Ride, so that Zest will actually be going at 28 as well. Then plus 15 too as well. So it's actually 43. Scary in that sense as well. So Cap just trying to block off from there, no defensive triggers. He was hoping to not take 1, but the over trigger really does kill him in that sense. Alright, so then Zest coming through. Cap only got 2 cards in hand, so if none of them are PG or enough to be able to guard, yeah, that might be difficult for him. So oh, he actually guards 1. And she gets 1, which is a heal trigger. So heal 1. Cap damage check. Over trigger. Draw 1. He actually saved himself 100 million, but that's still problematic for him because there's still the large Maple going off over there. He does save himself, but then Maple has 100 million herself, so plus the boost together as well. Persona Right, Hexaorb has no defensive triggers. There's nothing that that can get with the one hand, and that's the 6 damage right there. So. So as you can see, we're flashing up the deck list for both sides already. As you can notice, the Hexaorb deck is built up from DBT06, so nothing for DBT07, whereas Tempest is built up for DBT07. But you can see here that even with how competitive these two decks are, so like this matchup is very competitive despite the difference in the boost from there. But otherwise, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this game. So thank you very so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.